And welcome to Seekers of Sarmanath. I have no idea what session it is, so I didn't put one. We'll figure it out in post. How have you all been? Good to see you all for another week of Seekers. Faye, you're in a brand new location. What's going on with you?
Well, I'm on vacation. Well deserved, if I might say so. No, I was on the break. I was really exhausted. I was really looking forward to this.
Nice.
I'm in Australia right now, which on one hand is really lovely, and on the other hand there are like bushfires everywhere. So I'm a little bit contained in the area where I'm in. I'm hopeful that it's gonna, we're supposed to have rain like tomorrow, I think. So hopefully it's gonna get a little bit better. But yeah, I'm closer to Millman than I've ever been.
I'm a big fan of the way that Faye says bush. I'm just going to say that now.
Say bush?
That's a really weird comment.
Out of context, it's a very odd thing. She said bush fires.
Well, now I'm embarrassed. Can we please move on to
Alrighty. Well, enjoy your vacation. Please don't get burned up in a bushfire. Matt, what's up with you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Not much. I'm doing a Pokemon commission.
Nice. I'm playing Pokemon on stream when my Switch dock doesn't fuck up.
I have Pokemon Go up right now.
Hey, look at us.
Yeah. It's Chimchar Community Day right now. There was one at my house, so I caught it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, enjoy your commission, Matt. I'm glad you could play with us. Dan, how you been? What's up? Have you what's new? Anything new?
Not much. I got my hair cut
Nice. Well, yeah.
a week ago, maybe. Probably
Sweet.
before last session, but yeah.
There's
Sorry,
a
that's
ghost
scary.
behind you.
Yeah, gotta turn that thing off. But yeah, watching basketball. The Blazers are struggling, so it's tough.
Hey, they signed Melo, man.
They did. That's exciting.
Did they?
Yeah. Well, they haven't officially signed him, but when Woj reports it's going to happen, it will happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woj's accuracy is like legitimately 100%.
I've never seen Woj wrong yet. I'm
And
sure it will happen
it's
eventually.
I don't. Yeah, Woj is first like 99% of the time. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Why do teams tell him?
I don't think teams do. I just think he has that many relationships. He's got like every agent on the hook.
Everyone
He talks
says
to
that.
every
Everyone
player,
says that.
every-
But how does he have all these? I don't understand.
Blackmail, man. He's got dirty pictures. I don't know.
Him and Pop.
He has all the blackmail that Pop doesn't have from his players. All right, inside jokes are fun. I'm excited, man. I think Melo can add a lot to the team. It should be fun.
I agree.
Dan, what do you think about the is it Miles Garrett? Is that his name? The rest of the season?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
texted Greg back. I wasn't gonna text him back. He texted me at like 7:00 thing, and I wasn't gonna text him back. But then I watched it, and it was like 1 a.m. I was like, "Fuck it, I don't even care if he's up." Like that was the most disgraceful play I've ever seen in my entire life. Like
really
I can't.
was.
I'm not sure he shouldn't go to jail. Like that's assault.
If it happened on the street, he would go to jail, right?
Yeah,
but
like,
it's in a
for sure.
football field, so I don't know.
Those helmets are like equivalent to being hit by a hammer.
I think if
Like,
he had hit
imagine-
him with the like crown, like the hard
Yeah.
part of the helmet, he would have gone to jail. But because he hit him with like the underside of the helmet, I think he got off.
Yeah, I think I mean, the way it hit him, just he got a little lucky.
I mean, it's going to cost him millions of dollars in like suspension, but not jail time, I don't think. Although there was that one hockey player, right? Like from the Gretzky era that went to jail for hitting another player with his stick.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
again, wouldn't surprise me. Like,
There's precedent.
yeah, you just can't do that shit. Like,
Yeah. I wasn't watching the game, but then Twitter exploded about it, and I saw all the like clips and stuff, and I went and I watched the whole. I was like, "What the hell?" My favorite part was the Steelers guy that got him on the ground and just started kicking him in the head after he was down, and I was like, "He's wearing a helmet. What are you doing? You're just gonna break your toe."
yeah, I mean, I'd do that too.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Just tried to kill my friend.
yeah,
Shit.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. It was that was quite.
Imagine if your best friend, someone just tried to kill them with a hammer, and
Yeah.
you have the ability to now hit them while they're on the ground.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. I figured, sports talk with Dan would be remiss if we didn't cover
No, that's fair. It's just, it's insane.
It was insane.
the Ducks
Absolutely.
play today. In other news, I'm wearing my U of O hat today instead of an Under Armour one for that reason.
Good
Nice.
Yeah, big game today.
A lot of Ducks love on the stream. Other than the Ducks playing, what's new with you?
You talking to me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the last one.
Nah, I guess that's true. Yeah, baby's asleep right now. I'm sure he'll make an appearance later. I don't know. Veterans Day was this week. That's always exciting at Applebee's.
Baby is up. Baby and work.
Yeah. Veterans Day, always exciting. Applebee's gives free food to veterans, so we're super busy that day usually. I was down in the bar, which surprisingly was not super busy. And then I had Wednesday off so we could record the LUQ. We recorded a Christmas special series of episodes, which were really good. So once we get to December, you guys will be able to enjoy those. They're really good. At one point, I was choked up. My throat was doing that little like sore thing. Sam and Alante were like openly weeping, and Zach was tearing up. Big Christmas spirit this week.
Big Christmas spirit. All right.
Christmas spirit.
Well, emotional LUQ to look forward to
On November 13th.
on not Christmas. Okay. The Christmas special,
Yeah.
like more than a
The
month
podcast I play
before Christmas.
What did you guys do that was choking you up?
It was some Christmas themed adventures that we did, and then quest rewards therefrom. I don't want to jump too much into it, of course, because
Yeah.
then it would be
Spoilers, man.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It would
Wait,
be- it
November
would be
13th
spoilers
already happened. It should already be
months
up.
in advance. In advance for people too. So
So is it like is it a game that you guys play, or is it?
yeah, it's a D&D. It's a
Okay.
live. It's a well, no, it's not live. It's a actual play D&D podcast. Set in the world of Mac and R, my friend Law's homebrew world, in which adventuring is the major worldwide spectator sport, complete with color commentators, fake in-world ads.
It's such a good idea. Like, as a sports fan, I'm annoyed that I did not think of this.
Yeah. I would be interested to see a similar premise by somebody who used to watch Sports Center so much that he was able to recite the episode as it was airing. Yeah, because the sports thing for us is like, it's definitely the shtick, but they're leaning way more into the D&D side of things than the it's a sports side of things, which is understandable because I don't know if anybody would actually want to watch color commentators talk about player trades and upcoming deadlines and the draft and everything like all of this theoretical stuff that nobody was actually playing D&D
I would.
might not be super interesting, but for somebody who's like fully immersed in the sports world, it would be interesting to see what you would do with a similar premise of like, I'm going to make this the sportsiest D&D game.
So much sports. Let's go.
Yeah. This is like what we play is like D&D with a sports injection. What you would be capable of would be like sports with a D&D injection.
Yeah, I'm jealous that I did not think of that. All right, so let's play some D&D. Yeah. Speaking of, let's jump in.
Speaking of,
So last week on D&D, you guys made your way deeper into the tower after Hugh had picked the lock on the door in the Scrivener's Tower and successfully snuck your way down into the depths below. You noticed a pair of these Scriveners opening a door with a geometric lock down on the first floor, leading deeper into the archives. And with some quick hiding behind tablecloths and quick use of mage hand and candles, you're able to block the door from sealing completely and follow them down deeper into the depths. There you found this large basement where the spell of silence has seemed to have ceased on the rest of the tower, and there were artifacts and doors with different insignias littering the place. You found one with a insignia that you recognize from your alchemical book that you found in the lost city of Raekwon. And Hugh was able to quickly carve out a geometric shape to match the cube-like lock on the door and find a way to open it. And inside, you found rows and rows of books on alchemical processes, as well as some artifacts on the wall. These large boxes of alchemical steel and metals, just shaped in kind of a growing box on the back of the wall. One made of mercury, and the rest bronze, tin, and... I don't remember that one. Bronze, tin, and silver, I believe. Inside were the remaining alchemical stones, the philosopher's stones of the world. But you did not take them yet, as you still had to find your way down into the basement below, where your friend Algernon was being kept. After some time, you noticed that the Scriveners had gone through a large geometric locked door that you could not pass through, but on their way back through, you all quickly hid around the edges of the statues on either side of it, and as they opened it, Quartz sprang out with his staff to attack, and the rest of the party quickly followed suit. A pitched battle quickly occurred, while the party was quick to gain the upper hand on these non-warrior Scriveners. They unveiled a powerful artifact that caused utter terror to all who looked upon it, and almost swung the tide of the battle. Fortunately, there was enough successful saves that you were able to recover the Staff of Terror and fight off and kill the Scriveners. You drug their bodies into the alchemical room and lay them to rest. And Janlar picked up a neat little relic that he could use to send a oversized carved wasp out to attack people, but in return he turned into a wasp himself mentally for some time. So that was a fun little artifact. After disposing of the bodies safely in the alchemical room, you traveled down the stairs deeper into the basement below. There you found a large pit of writhing shadow, and many creatures locked away behind bars, seemingly teetering on the edge of madness and screaming and hollering as you were down there. Quickly you found a figure that you recognized, as Algernon was locked behind bars here in this shallow pit. Hugh quickly unlocked him and allowed Rose to have a chance to speak with him and reunite with her old friend, as you found a new person here, an old human wizard who bargained for his release in order to help the party escape and fight off some of these Scriveners on their way back up out of the tower. Hugh quickly decided to unlock the cage around Ludd as well, and you got their items out of the locked door down here where the prisoners' materials were kept. With some detect magic, you pulled out some extra items and stored them away for later identification and use, and quickly decided to get the hell away from the writhing pit of shadows and out of this terrible place. As you tried to escape out quietly, you took a moment to stop and investigate the treasures inside the alchemical room. You found 2 of the boxes to be empty, but one of them contained a second Philosopher's Stone. And using some mage hand and some powerful concentration, you opened you pulled a black stone, very similar to the Philosopher's Stone, out of the box of mercury. It was identified as the Absolution Stone, and was carefully packaged up inside a glass of mercury and silver and wrapped in a blanket, and the party was very, very cautious not to put the two together after the DM let slip that might not be a good idea. After having acquired all of the treasures, the bag of holding was opened up, and further alchemical books were shoved into it at a rapid pace, and the party decided to flee out of the tower, where they were met by some warrior scriveners, who attempted to prevent them from fleeing. A pitched battle ensued, causing the death of Quartz from a powerful magical blast.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, and a pitched battle that teetered on the edge of going very badly for the players. Fortunately, the powers of the Philosopher's Stone and some quick thinking from Goric to unveil the Staff of Terror managed to swing the battle in the party's favor.
No thanks to Goric, though.
No thanks to Goric, although it was very entertaining. You were able to revive Quartz using one of the diamonds, and quickly lay some traps for the oncoming enraged scriveners of the tower, at which you raced out into the desert once more, and hid yourselves at night amongst the rocks outside. So, before I hand the reins back over to you, there was a question asked at the end of last stream, when you went outside into the desert, that I answered incorrectly. You asked, are the fires still hard to create out here? And the answer to that is no. You in this desert that you have found yourselves in, the fires light easily and rapidly. We were trying to end the stream quickly, so I overlooked that. So you've taken a long rest high into some rocky desert bluffs outside of the tower, and the Scrivener's Tower is far behind you. What do you guys do?
Okay, first of all, what is the old man called?
Lud.
Lud. Okay. Lud, the
Lud.
old man.
Like blood, but with no B.
Lovely. And second, is Algernon with us now?
Yes, Algernon has been trailing along rather silently because the party did not interact with him much. But he gave
Goric
some
made
insights
sure he was
to
okay,
alchemical.
and that was about it.
Yeah.
We were kind of, he helped us grab books that we wanted, and we were fleeing. That was kind of the whole session.
Okay. If I ask questions that were already asked, just let me know. But I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, Algernon, did you find what you were looking for in here?
Well, kind of. I found a great deal of alchemical knowledge. I was able to piece together a fair bit of my formula, yes. But the book that I wanted to look over, it was taking too long. I copied it down. It turns out, according to...
I don't think you're supposed to copy things. I don't think they're like that.
Yes, your friends told me that.
He didn't read the terms and conditions.
I did not read the terms and conditions. I did not know they had them. Anyway, it seems I got in some bit of trouble as I tried to leave. I thought I would finish my research back at the tower. And then I was stuck down in that horrible place for far too long. I think. Maybe it
Also,
wasn't that long.
Can I just say, it's very odd that the place called the Scrivener's Tower, which basically means the Tower of Copies, doesn't allow you to make copies. You would think that they would be like the Misers of Knowledge Tower or something like that.
I don't think accuracy was the point of the name of the tower. I don't know.
They seem
might have also
very
just
erudite
made
for
it
someone
faster.
who doesn't know how to use a word correctly.
Fair enough.
Well, what do you need anything else for your research? Do you need one of those stones?
He looks at the stone and says, yes. Yes, I think those would work quite well, actually. You see, the formula that I have created requires very special and particular components. I'd have to track them down from across the world, but the legends of the stone, at least the knowledge that I have of it, says that it can replace the need for material components, a non-equivalent exchange of properties, if you will. I didn't think that you would have them, or that they would be down in the... Hey, you had one, and he kind of points to Gorik. That's very strange. But beyond that, they were in the Scrivener's Tower. Who knew? I thought there was only 4 ever made.
Well, it does let you substitute components, but there is a cost. And we have not determined what that cost is yet. I would advise you to be cautious. However, I do not think it would be unwise to send one of these stones to the Seeker Tower in Sarmanath, if that's where you plan to return. All of us carrying 3/4 of the world's Philosopher's Stones in a single party seems dangerously irresponsible.
I agree, Gorik. I think that's partially why the stone was given to you in the first place, was in case you die, it can go on with your clerics, and the knowledge can continue to be passed on. It seems like the Seekers would be another strong group to give another stone to.
Algernon shakes his head vigorously. Oh, yes. The Seekers would love to research that. I can't tell you the number of laboratory tests we would do on it. Oh, it's a trove of knowledge. Yeah.
Well, Quartz, give him your stone.
I think we will have to have an out-of-character discussion with Sean over which stone goes with the Seekers. I don't want to take away his stone without his presence here.
Sean comes back. Oh, by the way, you
Yeah,
gave
by the
your
way, no
Philosopher's
stone for
Stone
you.
to Algernon. Yeah. Gorik ended up with the Absolution Stone, right?
Correct.
Okay.
In your pack, in a prayer box, in a bottle, covered in a cloth.
Right, yeah.
Enveloped in mercury.
It's arcane locked.
Yeah.
Arcane locked, yeah.
Yeah, we Russian stacking doll
Yes.
contained it.
Yes.
How is the Absolution Stone different from a Philosopher's Stone?
I don't think we have a spell list for what the Absolution
It's-
Stone does, do we?
No, but it's the opposite is what we know.
Yes.
We know. Yeah.
So you use it and that costs you a lot of materials, or?
That's what I said.
We don't know how that portion of it works, but we know that in general the spells should be opposite.
That sounds pretty evil, though. Isn't the Philosopher's Stone good at healing people and bringing them back from the dead and those things?
It has the ability to heal, yes. The Absolution Stone is something we suspect is perhaps a corrupted Philosopher's Stone. Perhaps when the Philosopher's Stone reaches a certain number of charges, it transforms into something like this.
It sounds dangerous.
Jandlar is very interested in studying it.
I'm very certain it's dangerous.
Algernon kind of knuckles at a like patchy beard that has grown into his face over the time in prison, and he thinks, perhaps we should take that to the Seekers as well. Their knowledge far outpaces anyone else that I know of. I'm sure that Jandlar would be happy to get that in her laboratory as well.
I have an idea. One moment.
Oh, okay, Master Dwarf.
My friggin' Windows updated, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
In the meantime, Rose is just going to lecture Algernon about going off by himself into places that are clearly guarded and that he
Well-
should not walk into,
Well,
without
I am
the
a
help of
seeker.
other people.
Okay.
How did you make it through the front door anyways, past these giant stone snakes?
Oh,
That's a truly good question.
I put them to sleep.
Yeah. You put them to sleep?
Oh, yeah, yes, of course. I studied them for a number of days, and I found their eating habits, and I created a large potion, poison, really, if we're being honest, and then I fed it to them, and they were asleep for a very long time, and I just walked in. I am a seeker, Rose. I do know what I'm about a little.
You are. I was just worried, okay?
Okay.
And you weren't in trouble after all.
Well, I got in a little trouble at the end there.
You really have to ask for the library rules first. You should know that.
I assumed I knew
proficient
them.
librarian.
I've worked in a library for a long time. I've never been in trouble for copying a book before.
That's true.
All right, Greg, Goric casts a 3rd level spell
Okay.
and does a sending to the collector.
Oh, okay.
Chandler does not want it to go to the collector.
Collector. As an expert on things alchemical, we have acquired an absolution stone. Can you tell us what it does? It sounds dangerous. Goric Graveman.
Okay. It's a 20% chance not to reach someone on a different plane.
It's a 5% chance
5%
not to reach
chance.
someone on a different
Go
plane.
ahead and roll me that D100. And we'll see if it gets
Are we looking
there.
for lows or highs for a fail?
Anything 5 or lower will be the failure chance.
All right. Well, if it's roll 20, so we should go with anything 95 or higher because that won't ever happen. But it's 12.
It's 12. All right. So
I
you
didn't mean to
make
do that.
your sending, and after a period of time,
Remember, he can also only respond in 25 words.
I'm
so-
very bad about this, so I'm sure he'll respond in either less or more. But
Well, I mean, he can respond in less. Technically, he cuts
Yeah.
off after 25, but
Yeah.
if we get the general gist in the first few, then
he says his first is, "Who is this?"
I signed
And
the
then-
message with my name.
He still says that. Then he goes, "Oh, the Absolution Stone. It is the exact opposite of the Philosopher's Stone. It will cancel," and then he stops.
Probably forgot how that spell worked.
Roll me another D100.
Gorik's sitting there. He's like, I've messaged him before. I don't know why he's so surprised. Who is this?
He's just gonna send another message.
45.
A few minutes later, a message arrives. "Oh, I totally forgot about the limitations on the spell. That's a word. Shit,
That
that's
was
3
10.
more. The Absolutionist Stone." He cuts off. You get another message after some time. Eventually, after 3 or 4 messages, says, "The Absolutionist Stone. It cancels out the effects of a Philosopher's Stone. It is the antithesis of philosophy. It is a weapon to destroy and cancel the effects of a Philosopher's Stone. Ah, very rare. I don't think we ever made one. It would have to have been done by someone else with equal equal alchemical knowledge. Yes. Be careful with it. Its properties are theoretical at best." And after like the 17 messages that it
Right.
took to get that all to you, eventually your mind is silent.
Gorik sits there and he looks at Janlar and he goes, I don't think the collector understands the nature of magic. With the number of spells he cast sending me that, he probably would have been better off just teleporting here, telling me in person, and teleporting away. That's only would have been
Yes, but there's negatives to teleporting to a place you don't know of.
Well, you could scry first, then it's only 3, I suppose.
But those are so expensive. Sending is such a cheap spell.
He just cast me 17. He just cast 17 sending spells. That's like his entire spell allotment for the day.
But he's not going to do anything. Today, a single day for the collector? He doesn't remember what he had for breakfast. Today is nothing to him. A single day?
Anyways, the absolution stone cancels the effects of a philosopher's stone. It's meant to negate it. Is more weaponized, I suppose. He advises that we're cautious with it. So we've sort of learned something, and we've sort of confirmed what we already basically knew about it. It should stay in the scarf, in the bottle, in the pillbox, in the arcane lock, in the backpack, in the dragon's butthole for now. Why did everything go quiet?
We're just not saying anything.
You guys are very quiet. That's why, Gorik.
I was like,
There's a
did my
lawnmower
internet
going
just
on.
die? What just happened?
I'm trying to keep my shit muted because there's a alarm going outside.
I'm just worried. It just sounds very scary.
Oh, definitely.
The best
Anyways.
things are scary, though. Right?
Is that Ray?
That's where you learn stuff.
Oh, that's Algernon.
I have a question for Lud if we are standing around. You know
Okay.
what year it was when you got trapped in the Scrivener's Tower?
All right, we put a lot of shit on the DM here. I don't even know what year it is in game.
He
Chandler's
thinks
trying to
back to
figure
his
out if time,
memory,
like,
where he
moves.
can recall the year.
You will get a year. The year that he tells you is
Star date 2077.
yeah, is approximately 700 years ago.
Okay, and he tells us that he's less than he told us he's like how old? Didn't we ask him how old he was?
Well, he's human, right?
How old are you?
Oh, I was 27 when I showed up to the tower. Algernon can attest the time slips in that place.
He's not wrong. It's very hard to tell how long you're there.
It's like a very,
powerful magic.
very long time.
Algernon, are you familiar with the problems currently facing the world? I don't know if you would have heard about them.
I doubt it.
We suspect that the Chained Lord is trying to usurp Regess's control over fire or something. I try and light a torch just to prove, like, tick, tick, tick.
It does light up instantly.
Well, shit. All right. Apparently somebody else saved the world while we were dicking around in the Scrivener's Tower. I suppose that's good news. Well, all right. I guess quest solved. Campaign over. Let's go home, everyone.
I suppose so.
That's very interesting. You stole Brigesse's powers. What would he want with them? There's also
Maybe
a
he just
spaceship
borrowed-
outside, apparently.
Maybe he just borrowed them, used them for a while, and now she has them back.
I don't know. We haven't slept in the overworld yet. Perhaps someone will have a dream. Those have been going around.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When was the last time? When was the last person we saw before we went in the tower? The
like-
caravan leader person.
The caravan leader, yeah. That would
Yeah.
have been a few days before.
All right. I will. I'm gonna use another sending spell. I'll message her and I'll ask her how long it's been since she's seen us.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that D100.
Is she not on the same plane of existence as us? Well, I guess.
Oh, you're just rolling for the D100 years.
Yeah. That is a 100, which
Okay.
you said we were
Oh.
gonna use the lower half. So that'll be the only crit I roll all day.
All right.
Holy shit. Natural 100.
Natural 100.
Natural 100.
This is a sweet roll, man. That's like an Uber crit.
Natural hundo.
Probably right when you didn't want it, but
Rolling the Benjamins.
All right. You asked exactly how long has it been since you sent us? Signed, Goric.
Yeah, since the last time.
Alright.
How many days has it been since she saw us?
She's going to respond with, "You were the ones who helped at Dry Gulch?" Question mark? Like, as she says, "It has been 4 weeks."
We were in the tower for 4 weeks, Chandler. Or them nearly, anyway.
Because it took us like a day or two to get there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost 4 weeks we were in the tower, apparently.
We slept once.
You slept in like after you left the fight in the Tri Gulch and left the tavern. You got in a fight with scorpion people the end of that day, and then you slept a full night after dealing with that and having Hugh almost dragged away. Then you went into the tower, fought with the sandworms, and did some research. You took a long rest in the tower. Then you went down into the basement, fought for a bit, came out, and you took a long rest that night here in this desert.
Okay, so we only took one long rest in the tower.
In the tower.
Okay.
So, but in our eyes, like less than a week has passed. So it's clear that we were in there for far longer than it felt.
What do you think where the ship is right now?
Which ship?
The ship that's supposed to pick us up on the way back, maybe they're already gone.
For sure. What did we tell them to stay for?
But maybe they're also on their way back again.
I think we told them that we'd send for them if we needed them.
Yep.
So, what do we want to do now?
I would like to get back to the tower. I have my laboratory there, and I'm sure that the library could use a little tender, loving care. But then I need to get ready to get all of these materials. I'm very close.
We were also able to obtain a large wealth of alchemical knowledge from the library.
Oh yes.
To Lud.
In his bag. Right.
What else did we get? I feel like we got a lot of other stuff, but I just don't remember.
Oh,
He
books
pulls
and
out a
books
couple
and
of
books.
bodies.
Yeah. Oh, he'll start pulling out papers.
Where is home?
For me, well, Sarmanath, of course.
Yes, I'd like to go there too.
Yes.
Has Lud heard of Sarmanath? Is it old enough?
Isn't he a seeker? He's a seeker, right?
Once. A long time ago.
You still have your mark?
Yes.
Yes.
Who was the leader of the Seekers? You know?
Yes. His name was...
Feel free to fill in a name if you want.
His name was Bill.
Bill led the Seekers
Nice.
700 years ago.
Nailed it.
He was a
I
good
was gonna
guy.
go with Bob, but that's almost as good.
Name was Bill Boggins.
Was anything of importance happening 700 years ago? Chandler doesn't think so.
Lots of things important were happening. Revolutions. All sorts of things. I'm very interested to see how the city looks now. Although I had only been a few times before.
Do we still seek to travel to the Elvendar? Or
Well,
We
we
always-
were in the Elvendar, right?
We'll have to travel through it. It was the Gloomwood that we were talking about possibly going to, right?
Okay.
That's where we...
Greg, can you take us
first-
back to the world map on Roll20?
Oh. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we first started receiving visions.
Yep. When we were next to the
What?
Gloomwood.
Yeah.
At least Tom did.
Because we're north of the Elvendar right now, right?
Yes, far north of the Elvendar.
Okay.
You are no longer in what is known as the Midlands. You have gone north beyond the Elvendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open up Roll20. Yeah, I think our goal then probably going to be to just head back to Sarmanath, right?
yes, I suppose we may as well. I don't know what else to do.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Probably
there
can
is
get
the
all done
Vanishing
back home.
City around here somewhere, right? Oh, no, that's southwest.
No, yeah,
Never
it's
mind.
yeah, it's northwest.
I
Of
can't read
Sarmanath.
the map. It's really small.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
John Lord, do you think you can teleport us?
Just a joke.
Okay.
Sorry, someone's vacuuming. Great. such a fan of this. All right, can I teleport us? Not unless we get to a teleportation circle. I'm not yet strong enough to do it without.
I mean, the elves may have one.
Yes, but I doubt we want to trade what would be required to use their teleportation circle. I doubt they just let us do it. We have to trade something.
But I mean, you're the important
value.
person with the ring, right? I point at his ring.
Yes, but I doubt. I think the city helped them or something. I don't remember, but I doubt it's of enough importance with this ring to use their teleportation circle.
Well, you were also the only one who was allowed to speak to that council.
Yeah, I mean they didn't want to let you. Yeah, I don't know.
Just send a little message to that ship that was supposed to be here.
Yeah, I think we're
Have them come back.
traveling back normally.
It'll be
Okay.
okay. We'll just kill everything.
Plus, we don't have enough scrolls of teleportation to.
Anything that tries to step up on us.
I like Lud, just like, we'll kill everything. Ah. What a put together friend you've made.
Well, I can't send anything, so
Do druids not get sending?
no.
Ah,
We've had this discussion before.
have we?
Does Jandlar have sending prepared? I don't think he does.
I don't know sending.
Oh fuck! I forgot I had to. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I have nothing prepared. I forgot I leveled up last time. I didn't take care of it.
Oh, good job, Dan.
I gotta pick 4th level spells now and shit too.
Okay.
So, we've been sitting in this cave in the desert for an awful long time. What's the plan, guys? What are we doing?
I think we're gonna send for that boat, right?
Can the Philosopher's Stone send messages?
Gork, you muted.
We're going to sit here for another 700 years and use our Philosopher's Stone to build ourselves an elaborate dungeon, and we're going to become the bosses that our next characters fight in Greg's second campaign.
I'm on board. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to command the 4 skeletons to start digging, to start
Ooh.
mining.
Okay.
We're going to start creating the dungeon.
Yeah. Start punching trees to get wood so that we can build tools to start mining stone.
No, hold on. We're not punching any trees.
We do
Work
need-
our way up.
Yeah, we
No
need,
punching the trees.
we need to make like a well and figure out how we're going to make food. I'm sure
I
Faye's
can make
got
food.
That. Yeah,
I
Faye's
mean, I hope you like berries.
Okay.
Anyways, what are we gonna do about the message? Nothing. Great.
Well, I can cast sending one more time, I suppose, but it'll tap me for most of my arcane energy for the day.
Algernon kind of looks at you and you say that. Like, you use arcane energy, huh? I'm sorry, I just assumed you were a priest. You seemed very priestly before.
I cast silence on Algernon.
You said spells that you want for sending, just cast silence instead.
Algernon continues to talk, but you can't hear anything.
No, I don't actually cast him because I only have one 2nd level spell slot left, and I don't want to use it on silence.
Fair enough.
Didn't we take a beating? Oh no, did we long rest in this cave?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I
Yes.
should have my 2nd level spell slot.
You long rested at the end of last session, right? We were picking up after the end of the night's rest in this
Okay.
rocky outbluff.
So is this a boat that we would be calling?
Yes, they're talking about a ship that they use to travel the
Yeah.
Moonflow River from Sarmanath past the Elvendar when they first reach the edge of this desert.
So I suppose we can make our way to the river at least.
I mean, we can start traveling down there. I think that's a good idea. If they pick us up, they'll pick us up there anyway, so might as well start, even if we don't cast anything today.
Okay. How far is it away to the river?
I think like at least 2 days, right? Because
When
we
you
have to rest in
first
between.
traveled from the riverbank to the tower proper, it took you 3 days.
Okay. Yeah, let's roll out.
All right. So you begin traveling southwest, trying to find your way back through the desert to a river you expect to be there. I would love for whoever to be in the lead to give me a survival check.
I don't like how you say expect to be there as if the river can suddenly disappear. But I can do the survival check.
Please.
I also don't like the smirk and the silence. That doesn't feel right. Okay, let's see. Survival. Normal roll, right?
Yes, ma'am.
50.
A 15. All right. So, you begin making your way through the desert. You've taken out Sambar as per your usual, trying to use his true sight to help you along. With a 15, and you begin making your way south and west, you and Sambar begin coming upon a realization. The desert isn't as familiar to you as you expect. Sambar, of course, is an outlander and keeps his trait even as a mace. He would know how to get back, exactly. But the desert is unfamiliar, as if trekking through it for the first time. And the landmarks that you and him are expecting to see as you're conversing with each other and making your way through the desert are different or not there. So you rise over sandy and rocky dunes, making your way through the desert ever southwesterly.
Huh. This is weird. I think the desert's changed.
It definitely has.
I mean, I guess we just soldier on. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. You begin soldiering on, continuing through the rocky desert, further into the south and west. As the day comes to the evening and the sun begins to set down and low, you see on the horizon a line of figures, hooded and heavily cloaked, making their way across the horizon in the distance. You'd think that you could easily catch them by the time the sun comes to an end. There are approximately 12 figures, all in a line, all hooded and cloaked heavily, just kind of crossing your path along the horizon as you're traveling southwest.
What do you think of those fellas?
I think we should meet up. I mean, the desert looks very different from last time. We might be going in the right direction, but I really can't tell.
I don't see anything suspicious about hooded and cloaked figures.
I am not worried about them. They might give us some directions.
Okay. Let's catch up with them then.
All right. You begin making your way across the desert, quickly trying to catch them, veering from your course. After a quick hour and a half trek, as the sun begins to truly set, you make your way across the desert and approach them. You see the line of figures are all about human height. They are traveling slowly, and a small chant in a almost wordless language, right? The words themselves are less actual physical words and more just hums and the sounds of music, kind of matches the rhythm of the steps that they take as you approach. As the five of you, six of you with Algernon, make your way up close enough to them that they hear you, the line stops, and the kind of humming marching mantra as well. A single figure kind of cocks its head to the side, breaks from the line to march their way up to you. As they do so, they keep their hood over them, and you'll notice that all of these figures are wearing cloaks that extend down past their hands, and the hems of which cover their feet and their legs, dragging behind in the kind of rocky desert behind them. The hood is long and covers down across their face as they make their way towards you. You notice that as the hood is solid up to the point where it begins to cover their face, and then there's a kind of black mesh that you see across the rest of it as it covers their face. The mesh seems to be somewhat see-through, though it does a good job of masking the features of the figure approaching you.
As soon as said figure gets within about 60 feet of us,
I think you probably are starting around 60-ish feet, right?
Okay.
Hear you
so as soon as like they start approaching, Goric is just gonna kind of flare a little bit and use Eyes of the Grave.
Okay.
At these hooded marching figures.
The Eyes of the Grave specifically targets
specifically
undead.
Doesn't detect anything other than undead.
Okay. The Eyes of the Grave show you the undead in your party, the 4 skeletons that have been traveling around with Lud.
Are they out? Are they just walking around following us right now?
I assume so, yeah.
Unless you told me not, like, to put them away, right? Because we did come across these guys, so I kind of asked, like, what do we think about this? And then I think we just kind of moseyed on and carried on. So unless any of you say anything, I think Lud is too crazy to...
Okay. Well, apparently we have some skeletons in our party, but
but other than those, and it's blocked by line of sight, right? So you wouldn't see the other ones in his bag. So
it's blocked by total cover, which is sort of line of sight.
Yeah.
But
I would imagine that you would be considered to have total cover inside of an extra dimensional space.
I would think so, yes.
Bag. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking, like, technically I can't see these people, but I don't think their robes give them total cover. So if they were undead inside the robe.
If they were undead inside of robes, I think you would see them. Absolutely. Yeah. But these figures do not register as undead as it begins to approach.
I figure I have enough uses to give that a try. May as well double check.
Right.
Some wraith walking up to us.
Perfect. So the figure walks up. It stops 10 or so feet in front of you, and kind of raises its hands and says, "Travelers in the desert, you are not covered."
No, should
Oh,
we be?
I'm sorry about that. I put up my hood. Is that better?
The judgment of Melkor must be protected against. You seem to be lost souls. Do you need succor in the desert?
Yes.
Not that kind of sucker.
Well,
Yes.
Oh, it's been a long time, lad.
yes.
Good.
How are you doing, friend?
We suffer as always. We suffer the sins of our past and the corruption of our world. Come. We shall clothe you. We shall give you succor.
We shall suffer together.
Yes, of course, as all must.
Melkor is a deity that's a thing in our world, right?
Go ahead and make me a religion check, Gork.
Is it like a common enough, like, oh yeah, I've heard of this person before?
Yeah, can I make one of these too?
Yes, anyone who wishes may make a religion. Actually, probably the best way to do it is to give advantage to someone, right? You're assisting them. That way we don't have 37 rolls. So, go ahead. The best of your religion checks, I assume, will be the cleric. But go ahead and whoever has the best religion check, go ahead and give it a roll at advantage.
Actually,
I've got 7.
I was gonna say I can say with confidence that Dan's would be better because he has a higher intelligence than mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have 7 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you do it, Dan.
All right.
I don't. No, you got it. I'm not in roll 20.
Okay.
Dan!
I'm sorry. I thought it was.
Dan!
It's up. It's up on my. I think I got logged out somehow.
24.
I was definitely No, there's no way because I was looking at the map earlier. I must have exited that.
24. Lud, you scratch your beard and think back as long as you can over your memory. And Melkor does not ring a bell. In fact, you are quite certain you've never heard of a Melkor.
Yes. The future is very different. New gods. Eh?
The figure looks at you and like cocks its head again strangely when you say new gods. It says, there has been and only ever been Melkor. You are truly wayward souls. Come, we will welcome you into our flock.
Yo, I don't like this.
The figure
year is it?
begins to like walk away and makes a like kind of chirping / chittering noise. And another creature in the line comes forward and it is carrying a large chest.
So these are humanoids?
They appear to be humanoids, although they are completely shrouded in long
They're chittering and
cloaks.
stuff?
Huh?
They're chittering and stuff?
Yes, you heard like a chittering, like squawking noise from one of them.
Okay, another one comes up. Or
Right.
has some...
Yeah, he presents a box to the one that you were speaking with. He opens it up and pulls out from it these kind of large robes similar to the ones they are wearing, and comes back with 6 of them. The other one kind of closes the box back up, returns to his place in line, and the first figure kind of holds these up. Says, "Come, cover yourselves, protect yourselves from the wrath of the desert."
Lud'll take it, examine it for a second, and then don it.
It seems to be a cloak. It's very thick and heavy. It is well made. Seems like it would resist wear and tear. It is over large. It would cover you completely. Right. It is designed so that the arms hang well past your hands, and the hem of it covers your feet and would kind of drag behind you, much the way theirs does. It has a hood that doesn't seem to peel back. Right. The way a hood does. It's just like a permanent kind of fixture with the black mesh in front of it.
How tall are these guys?
They're about human height. They seem to vary a little bit, but they are between 5 and 6 feet tall.
Okay.
I don't remember what I was going to ask. Sorry. Carry on.
Okay.
Oh, does he react at all to the skeletons, or does he just like completely just like look at them and just?
He's not given any indication of reaction to the skeletons at all.
Okay.
Though notably, he does not have any cloaks for the extra skeletons.
He doesn't bring cloaks for the skeletons.
No.
Do you have buildings or a town, a village?
Yes. Come. You are truly wayward souls. We will teach you the ways.
I'm not familiar with human gods.
I don't know. We're wayward souls now, apparently.
And I'll follow him.
All right,
Yeah.
you don your large cloak, and the creature kind of gives you the large motion back as if come join a spot in line, and holds out the remaining cloaks for the rest of you.
Yeah. I'm going to be very aware of my surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody slipping a knife into my back or...
Right.
So...
Okay.
Very paranoid.
He spent some
Cloak
time in
over my
prison. He's
second
very
cloak.
paranoid
Spent
about
a
shit.
lot of time in prison.
Goric already wears a cloak, so I think he's just gonna pull his hood up and be like, "He's fine. Your cloaks are far too big for me anyway."
Yeah, Janlar wears a cloak as well, so he would do the same.
Well, I just have one cloak on top of the other cloak.
Perfect.
Just wearing 2 clothes.
You put the big heavy one on. Rose, you are welcomed in line. The Algernon follows suit and is welcomed. The figure in front of you kind of looks at you as you pull your hoods up and says, "Stubborn these souls are. I will treat them in the ways of Melkor." And he kind of folds the cloaks up that he was offering you, kind of puts them on his shoulder. Kind of, you could sense almost a little begrudgingness as he waves you on to join him. But with you covered up more, he seems at least accepting of this for now. As you join them in their line, the 13 figures, I think it was 13? Where are my notes? The figures in the line once again begin humming their strange, wordless, tuneless hum, rhythmically, and it matches with the rhythm of each of their steps. They all kind of place hands on your shoulders, those of them that aren't carrying things, and lead you with them into the desert proper. As they walk, it only takes a matter of inside an hour to approach a kind of large rocky outcropping that rises high into the desert, blocking what could be the wind or elements around it, and this little kind of circle of land in between is built up with these large kind of stick huts. They look almost like birds' nests that you've seen, except domed and covered, and they're put together of mismatched sticks and twigs and cactus pieces, just various things that you would find throughout the desert, kind of mucked together. As you approach this place, you see a kind of large circular bonfire in the center of it that is lit and burning as these figures are these cloaked figures in the town are kind of going about daily life as you approach.
Yeah. The building is like wood? Like
yeah, so there's a bunch of them, like tons of little domed buildings. They seem big enough for a handful of creatures at a time. They're made out of like sticks and wood and some cactus pieces, and just it looks like kind of
very primitive, almost
like scavenged pieces.
Future sucks. The architecture's gotten a lot worse. You believe this?
I turn to Gorik.
I've never seen buildings like this before, but I imagine building materials are in short supply in the desert. You make do with what you can.
As the line reaches the kind of city proper, many of the figures in the line stop their humming, and you see the ones that are carrying things make their way past you into the village itself. They make their way past the bonfire to various places carrying their items. The other ones kind of make their way out doing their own thing. The lead figure who had spoken with you turns around and kind of casts his hands out. He says, "Welcome to the sun and shade. Here you will be protected from the wrath of Melkor. Here you will learn to suffer and atone for the sins of the past. Come, you must meet the elder." And he kind of beckons you deeper into the village.
When you say learn to suffer,
I'll stop him before he moves too far.
What do you mean by that?
It is the teachings. The great red stone that fell from the sky unleashed the plagues of Melkor on our land for being unfaithful, for reaching too far for power, for magics that weren't ours. If we suffer long enough, we will atone in the eyes of Melkor, and the creatures of the stone will leave us.
Yes, I love suffering. A good reading of study book or something for hours on end until I'm really suffering. Is that what kind of suffering do you guys do here?
No. We do not read. Books have long been forbidden. If you have books, I would suggest placing them in the Great Fire, for they will only weigh you down. They will not help you atone.
I'll turn to Janlar. They want us to burn the books.
Sorry. Janlar's looking into my spell books. What do you mean burn books? No, whoa.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you mean burn the books?
They hold the knowledge of a past time.
What books will we
time
burn?
of great grief.
Scrivener's Tower?
I know of no tower that holds books any longer. Though if you have the relics of the past, wayward souls, I suggest that you alleviate yourselves of them, for they will only increase your suffering.
What year is it?
It is a year of atonement.
No, I
as
mean
were
like
the ones
number-wise. You know.
Greg's like, stop asking me.
This creature just...
You can make one up, but like he doesn't give a
No. The
year.
creature just says it is a year of atonement, as was the year before.
How long has it been since the big red stone has touched the earth?
For many years of atonement. Many.
But we saw it in the sky like a few weeks ago.
You saw a stone in the sky. Truly portentous if you are not lying or crazed from the desert. Yes, you must speak to the elder at once.
Hold off on the book burning. Please don't burn the books.
It is your choice, but I promise you, it will free your mind from the avarice of the past. You will come quicker to atonement, as shall we all.
Lud's going to start shaking his head and backing away from this man
Yeah, I think
and this town.
I feel like we just need to get back to Sarmanath.
Yeah. I feel like I don't want to beat the elder. That's what I feel like.
This, they have a great pyre, Greg,
Yes,
and it's like just blazing away, right?
it is blazing away.
Janlar is not going anywhere near this fire with his spellbook.
Yeah.
Janlar is not about this.
We're not burning the books.
Yeah.
Come, you will meet the elder. Follow me. And he like waves for you to join him as he begins to like walk into the town proper.
I'm backing up. Are there still 13 people around us?
No, they kind of went about their ways. Some of them were carrying items, like the large box that he pulled the cloaks from. Those that were carrying items walked past the bonfire to kind of one of the larger huts and behind it. The others that weren't carrying anything went about their own business into town. You were left simply there with the leader that had spoken to you at the edge of town, as he's like beckoning you further in.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn to the party, to the squad, and just see what they're looking like.
Yeah, I mean, Janlar is not going in unless the party goes in and he's left out here by himself. Janlar is not.
Okay, can we talk for a second? I think we take the wrong exit?
There was only one door leading out of the tower. What do you mean?
Because, I'm pretty confident in finding my way, and we left the town, everything looks different, and they're talking about a giant red rock in the sky that has landed years and years ago. Do you remember the red comet we've seen, like the meteor we've seen a few weeks ago?
I do. I remember the comet, yes.
Well, I don't that doesn't make any sense. If it would have landed, it would have only been, a few days or maybe a week or two ago, but not years and years. And you sent the message and they said we've only been gone like 100 What? No, what was it? 4 weeks?
4
That
weeks.
doesn't make any sense, does it?
Unless we're on an alternate plane of existence.
If we're what?
On an alternate plane.
I don't understand these words that you're speaking.
You know, it's like well,
It's like when we went to the Silver Lord's realm. It's a different realm.
Yes, but that was a magical gateway that transported us to the realm of the demigod.
And those foxes had a very powerful magical building that allowed time to pass slower for us. Maybe it also allowed us to be teleported out to this.
They also said the tower isn't always there.
I'm going to try to like slip away out of
Okay.
view of this guy.
Okay, you begin trying
You're
to.
muted, Greg.
Sorry about that. You begin trying to slip away from the party. This guy had kind of beckoned you and walked some distance and stopped and let you kind of speak. As you begin to walk away, you see him just kind of shake his head, and he calls out, "No! You should come! There is succor to be had here! There is atonement to be had here! Only the pain of the desert awaits you out there. We shall heal you, wayward soul!" And then you just continue walking away.
Well, he kind of called me out. I'm gonna look at the party and be like,
I feel like I should check things out, you know, incognito style. See if this place is all clear, you know.
Gorik looks at you, looks at the 4 skeletons that are like following 15 feet behind you everywhere you go, and looks back at you and goes, I don't know how incognito you're going to succeed at being. Is there like xylophone crinkle crackling along?
Right. Stay here, I'll say to them.
The skeletons just stop.
okay. I'll have them start doing a little jig.
The skeletons begin dancing. They vogue.
Yeah, nice. And I'll be like,
Look at my vogues.
and I'll start slinking away.
The leader kind of shakes his head and looks at the voguing skeletons and then looks back at the rest of the party. I see that I have failed that one, but you 5 can still atone. Come, speak to the elder at least.
Sure, I'll speak to the elder.
Good.
Generally gonna stay out here with the skeletons. Seeing there's not going in. No.
Like, Rose is not too concerned. The guests, they seem weird, but she finds many people very weird. And on the other hand, they also haven't forced them to do anything. Like, they didn't force them to put on the robes. They didn't force them to come with, right? Like, they haven't used any violence or anything, so... You know, why not have a look?
Greg,
Yes.
3 seconds after Lud rounds the corner and has snuck off, Gorik looks at the skeletons, presents his holy symbol, and turn undeads them all.
Okay. What
I
is
need
the
the
CR
skeletons.
of a skeleton? Yeah, I gotta.
They're
figure that
1
out.
quarter, so destroy undead would affect them if they fail their save.
Okay, Lud. I think we need some saving throws versus turn undead for your skellies.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That looks like a few fails there. Do we get a pass?
We got a nat 20.
Oh, I missed the 20. Oh, it was the first one you rolled. Yeah, so one of them definitely passes. A 13, I don't think is gonna get it done against Gorik's save there. So 3 of the skeletons just instantly, just like fall apart. The bones in mid
Vaporize.
vogue, they're just like, and the pieces just fall to the ground. In the sand and desert next to you. The last one continues its dance.
Gorik just kind of puts his holy symbol back away and just goes, it's better.
God damn it. Okay. He's gonna turn invisible.
Okay.
And, yeah, go check out all of these buildings.
All
How
right.
many of them are there?
Many. As you make your way back through Invisible, you find that there are no fewer than 60 of these huts. Many of them are sized only for a handful of humanoid-sized creatures. 4 or 5 you think would fit in there at a time. They're sporadically arranged. They don't seem to be placed like as if this was not made by an engineer or an architect. They just seem to have been placed generally around the center of this large fire pit and inside the confines of this kind of large cliffside that it rises up in kind of a semicircle around it. There are some larger ones in the back on the other side of the fire pit, which Rose is led to by the cloaked figure, the kind of leader of the 13 that was speaking with you. It doesn't seem that anyone else is following, but he leads. You see this figure leading Rose past the burning pit of the fire and towards one of these kind of larger nest-like buildings in the back.
I'll do the awkward waddle around the giant fire. I don't turn my back towards it. I'm just,
As you are waddling past it, you see along the edges of it are like spits turning, with strange shaped animals being roasted around it. You don't recognize any of them as they are being kind of roasted there. Cloaked figures kind of just turn them slowly.
Yep, definitely in the wrong place.
Yeah, I'll just sort of ghost towards these bigger buildings. How many of the bigger buildings are there? Like ones are obviously hovels or like houses, right?
Yeah. There's one in particular that's quite large in the very back, almost touching the cliffside. And flanking it are 5 or so of these kind of just like larger buildings that seem to would fit maybe 10 to 15 people or humanoid-sized people. The largest one you think would fit probably 100 or so, just judging by its outside, its exterior. It's quite large compared to the rest.
Okay.
So you're beginning to make your way that direction as Rose is being led by this fellow. The amount of people coming across here make it kind of slow going for you invisible, but you're able to avoid bumping into any of them as you go. Rose, you were led up to the front of the like kind of largest building. There's no door or anything. There's just kind of like an opening about humanoid size in the dome of the nest that they are going to kind of like lead you into. You notice that the inside is dark, like pitch black, almost as if there's no light on the inside of it as you approach.
Do I still see something? Because with my dark vision, or is it entirely dark?
If you have dark vision, you can see inside. Yes.
Right.
As you approach, you see with your dark vision that it is a large, through this hole, there's this kind of like a large open portion of the room here. There are a number of these figures inside, although they don't wear their cloaks. As you approach to the front of the door, you see these like black bird-like humanoids with hooked beaks and shining bead black eyes. And they are kind of like just inside of this. They seem to be like chanting softly to themselves, like almost inaudibly, as they look towards the very back of the building.
I've never seen bird people like this before, right?
No, you have not. You are ushered inside by the leader of the 13. Once inside, he too disrobes, revealing his kind of black bird-like appearance. Lud, you see your new friend just kind of go inside this large pitch black nest.
Do you think I could slip in?
Yeah, you probably could. Do you have dark vision?
No, I'm human.
No. You could slip in, though you will notice immediately as you kind of approach this entrance that they went into that it is pitch black inside. You can't see a thing.
Fuck. Okay. I can't see anything?
No. No, there's not a source of light in here outside of the fire at your back. As you stand in the doorway, like that only reaches a small way in.
Okay, so there is like a little bit of light on the interior, or is it
Just as far as the light through this little door will go, and that's not very far into this big building.
okay? Then Lud will just watch them walk into the darkness and stay there.
Okay. Rose, you were led deep into this like large cavernous room. There are tons of these bird folks here. Some of them are eating quietly, but many of them are chanting almost like prayer-like to themselves. At the far end of it, you are led up to a large kind of like altar-looking contraption, and seated behind it is a giant bird creature. Like it is at least 15 or 16 feet tall. As you look upon it,
oh boy, oh jeez.
Yes.
Okay.
As you look upon it, the what would be feathers you think are like moving. It's almost like it almost looks to your eyes as you sit there that the feathers that make up the rest of these bird peoples and this larger one are like crawling around its features. In the darkness. It's got beady black eyes that stare out at you, and the similar hooked beak as the others. As you approach, the leader of your party kind of bows his head down and says, "Great Elder, we have found wayward souls in the desert. They need our guidance. They were not covered." And he just kind of like bows away from this creature.
As I see the giant bird, I like stumble backwards a little bit and just bump into the other guy who's currently bowing. Like, oh, wow, sorry about that. Sorry about that. And I guess I do the bow as well. I like try to imitate, whatever he's doing. And then my hood slips back, even though I've just taken it off, and I'm trying to take it back off again.
The large creature looks to you and kind of cocks its head for a moment, looking, and it pauses and then speaks in like a long, low growl. It's just like, "You have done well to bring them to me. Lost souls need guidance. The desert is harsh, and you must protect yourself from the rays of Melkor, lest you suffer my fate." And he like wipes the feathers away from his like bird-like face, and you see deformed skin, and you realize as he like kind of slaps these feathers down on the ground, they're not feathers at all, but like crawling grubs, black as night, just begin racing their way back up his body to fill that void. Says, "The corruption of Melkor will taint us all in time. Here in the gulch," and he like raises his giant hands, "I am raising my flock to atone, and one day Melkor will relinquish the stone and its powers from our lands. Here we have a great fire, where you can burn away the sins of your past and emerge atoned. We invite you." Oh, yes.
Sorry, can I real quick back to the Melkor thing and the big stone.
Yes.
Can I ask you some questions about that? Is that
I stepped away for a second. Is Rose here? She's here by herself, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No one else wanted to follow her into
awkwardly talking to a giant bird?
Okay.
Like,
Chandler's still chilling out right with you.
Yeah, you guys are sitting there chilling with the lone voguing skeleton.
I just want you to know, after 15 minutes, Chandler is going to go in. If he doesn't come out. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Right. They'll be like, so, we are kind of lost in the sense that we're not actually from here, you know? As you can tell, I mean, look at me. I'm not a desert person, you know. Really not a desert person.
You are more lost than I thought. The corruption's in your brain. You think you do not come from this place. We are all trapped here together. Come, this place is an oasis amongst the corruption. We
Okay.
can heal you here. We can
Sure, let's
heal-
do the healing part later, and let's. You would who? Can you I'm sure you like stories, right?
Stories are dangerous things. There are many stories told in the past that led men down a path of avarice and power for which we suffer today.
Sure, but I'm sure there's a big story about Melkor and the big red stone in the sky that caused all your right. Because if I want to atone, I have to know about the roots
You
and the
don't
beginning.
remember our past, of course.
No, my brain is messed up. How would I know?
Of course.
Right?
There was and always was Melkor, guardian of our people. And we reached too high. We knew too much, and we forgot Melkor, and so he sent his wrath down, a great red star in the sky that brought forth the plagues of Melkor. Those who are unprotected, and he once again kind of wipes away the grubs on his face, met terrible fates. Here we atone, for we must suffer for our sins, and when we have suffered enough and atoned for Melkor, he shall lift a plague of the stone from us.
So where are the people that have not, been hit by the fury of Melkor?
They do not exist. Melkor's wrath touches all places. There are oases such as mine, where you can be protected. There are those who know to atone.
What makes this place protected, apart from the hoods and, the dark?
You must cover yourself from the rage of Melkor, especially should you walk the deserts. And you must stay away from his spawn. And
His
you
spawn?
must suffer and atone.
What is his spawn?
The spawn that came from the stone. They cover this world. They corrupt it. Until we atone.
Okay. Where did Melkor come from exactly?
Melkor always was. Where did the world come from?
I mean, that's kind of a difficult question. How much time do I have to answer?
No, it was a rhetorical question, young miss.
Right. I'm not good with those. I'll have to be honest with you.
You need our help a great deal, it seems. Come, step through the flames with me. We shall help you atone.
No, hold on.
He begins standing up from his kind of semi-seated position, raising to his full 15-foot height.
Oh boy.
Begins kind of striding out of the altar area towards you.
Meanwhile, Goric, Janlar, and Algernon are kind of standing there.
So if we are on a different plane, like Rose thinks that we are, how do you think we get back? Because I don't think we'll be able to go back to the tower, right? That's definitely a banned for life sort of situation. And I don't think I can cast plane shift, and I don't think you can cast plane shift. I know you cast gate once. Do you think you could do that again, Janlar?
Not yet.
So do you think we should stay here until we can cast 7th level spells? It's gonna be a really long side quest.
I wonder if there are teleportation circles here, and if you could travel between planes with them. I don't know how the magic works.
Algernon?
Well, I'm no wizard, but you see, the tower, it's like an artifact of some kind, yes? Perhaps we entered it in our world and stepped out of it in this one, and we could go back through it. Perhaps it would return to our world. I don't know when, but perhaps there's another artifact with similar abilities in the world. I don't know.
Well, I suppose we could look, but it seems like this world is... I kind of like pick up a handful of sand and just kind of let it run through my hand. It's pretty barren. I'm not sure what we'd be able to find here.
I don't know.
How do you suppose Rose and Lud are getting along?
Oh,
They've both been gone for a little while.
I don't know. Well, Rose is a seeker, and Lud says he is. I suppose they should be able to handle themselves quite well.
You're probably right. I'm sure they're both just fine.
Yes. She's much better a seeker than I. She had to come rescue me when I got stuck in the tower, so, I'm certain that they'll be fine. There's two of them, after all, we think. Where did Lud go, actually? He just turned around, and then you killed his skeletons. Seemed rude.
No. That just happened. As it happens. Death is the natural way of things.
Oh.
It was the damnedest thing. It's almost like the sun and sand just blasted them away into nothing.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, it had little to do with your holy symbol.
Oh, nothing at all.
you
That's
ra-
probably not even worth mentioning.
Oh. Well, very good. You are...
An authority on these things.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah,
Exactly
precisely.
that. A primary source, if you will, from my book. Very good. So the large bird creature in the center kind of stands, and like as he walks towards you, you can see these like grubs, the cover skin kind of falling off and returning to him as he walks forward towards you.
I do the slight bow, and as I do the bow, I start walking backwards. I'll be like, well, this has been a lovely talk. I have a lot to think about. I'm also kind of tired. We've been in the desert for a really long time, so I think it might be time to take a nap.
Come, you can join the flames.
Sure. How
learn.
about another time? I say, it's been a lovely pleasure. Don't take this personally. And I touch myself and I cast invisibility.
You cast
I try
invisibility.
to get the heck out of this.
You come racing away. As you do so, you just kind of hear a sad, like, cluck from this, like, giant creature. Like, I can't make a clucking noise, but it sounds like a bird, but you get sadness from it. You and Lud, as you are invisibly running away, you hear the voice of the like, first one that, you talk to. It says, I seems I have failed another wayward soul, your great elder. You just hear, no, she has failed herself. I hope they find the
Thanks, Dad.
and you race out of this place, invisible, and you find yourself back out. You and Lud are both invisible, cannot see each other, but are outside of this nest.
Nice.
As the rest of the town kind of bustles about.
What are the people doing in this town?
Many of them are cooking things along the rest of the fire. Some of them are carrying like covered things in between different nests, as like chests or covered baskets of things. Many of them are kind of sewing or creating like large cloaks or heavy things, like repairing them along one side of it. It seems they're just going about daily kind of life almost.
Interesting. Do they have a system of barter?
You don't, as you sit here and watch, you don't see anyone exchanging anything. It seems as if it's just all, you get the impression that maybe everything just kind of belongs to the community.
Okay. Yeah, and I think Lud would have sneaked around and kind of looked at what people are doing inside if he can.
You try to sneak inside to these nests, and you find that none of them have any light inside of them. You find them very hard to see in. To the best of your knowledge, they seem to be storing things in many of the larger buildings. Things go in, they don't come back out. When there are some metals, there seem to be some tools that are heated in the fire and that are being repaired to one side of it. Many of these figures, while cloaked, are cooking strange creatures, roasting them alongside the fire. There are some that are like almost seamstresses sewing together, repairing the like hems of these cloaks that drag behind them in the desert.
Are there like guards?
No, you don't see anyone that holds a weapon.
It's a very strange place. Okay. I'll return to Gorik.
Lud just rubs his hands together and he comes back. He's like, "Do you know what a group of crows is called? A murder."
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll return to the party.
All right, you return invisibly to the party. Rose, I assume you have hoofed your way back to the party as well, or what do you do while now invisible?
Oh no, I'll stay here. This is my life now. No, I am moving back.
All right. You invisibly stalk your way back to the party.
Yep, I'll stalk back and I'll be like, I think I'm pretty sure we're in the wrong place.
Just hear an invisible voice. Wait, what?
Jen, like, you're getting prepared to like maybe run in here, and then like invisible voices start talking to you.
I think so too, boys.
It's me. It's Rose.
The sun is down at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a moon?
And yes, it is quite large.
Does the moon look familiar?
Like, does it look like the moon from your timeline, I guess?
Yeah.
I suppose not, right? I don't know how moons look different. I guess, yeah, we'll call it, it's larger in the sky. It seems like you were looking upon, you look for familiar constellations in the night sky, and you look at the moon, and it does seem and appear to be different than you remember.
Okay.
Okay, you'll just hear a loud voice and it'll be like, "What happened to the other three?"
Gorik just goes, "I think Rose is right. I think staying here is very hazardous. They just dissolved. Perhaps there's some sort of hazards in the air. They aren't covered the way that the others said that we should be."
Blood becomes visible and starts gathering up the bones. Storing them.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should get out of here.
I don't know. They don't seem violent, but they also seem creepy. Very creepy, but I think we'll be fine in the elements. Let's leave this place.
And where are we going?
I don't know. Did you find out what's in the nearby area?
Yeah, nothing. Death and despair. And
Nothing
lots
that
of...
does it? All around?
Well, they said everybody is cursed as they are.
What do you mean, cursed?
I mean, they had these maggot feathers. Not cursed, but, you know, like, I don't know. They said Melkor came and was very angry at them.
Maggot feathers?
Yeah, it's like, you know, these things they have on their faces are actually maggots.
Are we back in the Silver Lord's realm? Maggot feathers are definitely on brand for him.
I don't think so. Everything was silver there, right?
No. Lots of things were corrupted, disgusting, and strange. I feel like we're back in the Silver Lord's realm.
Maybe.
But everything in the Silver Lord's realm was beautiful, and then it was rotten inside. This is just rotten everywhere.
Yes, I agree. I don't think we're in the Silver Lord's realm. It doesn't feel the same. But on our plane of existence, I doubt it. I'm not sure where we are.
Rolls dice.
I just don't. It's fine.
Should we?
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't know anything about portals. I know that the Scrivener's Tower is supposed to be sometimes there and sometimes not there, and I know that the Vanishing City sometimes is there and sometimes is not there, which means they could sometimes be in a different place than they usually are.
This is interesting. Maybe the Vanishing City is here as well. It works as a similar
No,
portal.
I think it was like south. Oh,
No, I mean on this
yes,
plane.
on this shore.
Yes. That is an interesting idea.
Maybe.
I have no idea how we would find the vanity with no sense of direction.
After you spend some time just chatting right outside of the city, as you are all having your conversation,
I told you we're not scared of these people, Greg.
a cloaked figure kind of walks its way back out to you, and you hear a familiar voice that says, "Oh, I am sad that you did not take the Elder's request. We could have healed what ails you."
Hearing that voice, Chandler will cast Mage Armor on himself.
Okay.
Can't see anything. It's dark, right?
Yeah, no. Well,
Light.
you're not in the pitch black. There's a large fire in the
Okay.
center of the city. The night sky has a big full moon. Right? It is probably dim light for you, but you can see out here. It's just
Okay.
inside the nests you can't see.
Well,
If you
Chandler's
don't have
going to
dark
startled
vision.
and cast Mage Armor anyway.
All right, you cast mage armor. The cloaked figure kind of is like jumps back a little bit. Says, you carry the curse of the old. The fire will cure you of that. You won't have to worry about the corrupt magics. Regardless, you've made your choice clear. We wish to help you, and you will always be able to find water and shade here among us. But I know of a place, a grand city once it was. The elder speaks of a time where there was a mirror there. Could show you what you need to see. Could take you where your heart wishes to go. Perhaps if you will not stay with us, you will seek that out, and it will return you to us. You will learn what you need, and you can
this
come
mirror
back
that
to a
shows-
tone.
This mirror that shows you what you want to see sounds like an excellent place to hide one of these Philosopher's Stones, I think. I read the story about that once.
It's an epic story.
Was that a Philosopher's Stone? I guess it was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called.
Yeah, in the first Harry Potter book, they hide the Sorcerer's
Yeah.
Stone in the mirror
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
so-
yeah.
And it was originally called the Philosopher's
It
Stone.
was, right? Yeah, I got changed the Sorcerer's Stone for Americans because you're dumb. Yeah.
And SS sounds good. Sorcerer's Stone, I guess.
He kind of shakes his head. He says, "Stories are dangerous things. They remind us of times forgotten. But perhaps if you will not take succor from us, Desmir will find a place for you. May you always find shade and water in your travels." He kind of like gives you a formal bow and makes his way back down out of the desert. Or makes his way back down from this like place where you're staying towards the fires.
Do we have any supplies? Does anyone have any rations?
Whatever you brought with you through the tower.
Rose can make things. Right?
Like what? Wait, what?
Food.
Yeah?
So I'm nervous we're going to be stuck here for a while.
Algernon kind of looks around at you all like, did you not bring supplies? That seems rather foolish, but I have well supplied, yes. I thought I would have to be making a full, month's travel back from the tower. We retrieved my gear with lots.
Don't we still have this giant water barrel?
Yeah, Hugh has the huge barrel of
He
water.
was just like,
I meant food. I just...
no, actually you don't have the water barrel, I don't think, because you left it outside of the tower when you went in.
You're probably right.
Hugh will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was the case.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
We might need to ask them for some food and water when we leave.
No,
not-
I don't think you want to eat that. That doesn't-
I'm quite sure Rose and I are more than capable of providing for the group.
Okay.
Oh, magical rations.
Interesting.
Oh,
I mean,
am
we have
truly
soup.
class.
We have endless soup. Don't you remember? I pull out my tiny soup bowl. I have this.
Oh, yeah, I thought that got stuck. I thought that was on Sambar's body when he jumped.
No,
into
we each have one, right? We had like
Oh, I
everybody
thought
got
there
a
was.
single
I thought
one.
there was one soup bowl that we were. Like,
No, there were 5 of them, or
Oh.
there was as many of them as there were party members. So I think 5.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Then I have a soup bowl on me as well.
All right,
I assu-
retcon in that character sheet. I see.
I didn't realize that we all. I thought we just got one. I assumed
No.
that we were like.
I mean,
Alright.
I always figured everybody of us got like a tiny one.
Speaking of character sheets, Greg, I have 6 potions from Grave written on here.
6 potions from Grave.
Ah, there
Yeah.
they are. I can tell you what potions they are. They are the crystal-shaped healing potions from the dwarven tomb that I've been asking about 4 times. Who
Oh.
the And everybody assumed they just died with Saba, so you have them, I figured. Because Milman always said he never had them.
They must be on Goric. I assumed we pulled them out of the grave in Willard's Mill that the beast's eyes were in, but I should probably write from tomb instead of from grave.
What's the plan, squad?
It sounds like we have 2 options: either try to find this other city with the mirror, or try to go back to the Scrivener's Tower.
I
or
doubt
possibly
we would be
Vanishing
well
City.
received at the Scrivener's Tower, even if we were able to find it again.
I mean, if it is another city, there's a chance they have a circle there, right?
Yes, I'm not sure if the magical circle will be connected to ours, though, if we're on a different plane. This
I mean,
mirror
I don't-
sounds like a good chance, but it also...
The city might have more answers.
Perhaps it's Sarmanath. Perhaps it's not.
So, do we want to try to find this magical city, or do we want to try to find the magical tower?
Let's find the city.
What direction was the city in?
The creature had pointed out across the desert, and it lays to the west from where you are now.
Okay. To the west.
And then Rose told us that it had said that we need to stay covered from the sun, right? So it was on
Yep.
us.
Yep. They said the sun is tainting you. If you
And
don't
then
have your hood
you
up.
said some other creatures as well, possibly, are tainting.
Yeah, I would have, but I would have said, like, they also said you're not supposed to fight the minions of the spawn of that meteor god. They can taint you, apparently. And there's a lot of tainting going on, is all I can tell.
Alright. So, we must make haste then. But,
So
yeah.
should I lead us across the desert? Do
Do
you
you
all
think-
have your soup bowls?
Do you think we will be safe to rest here for the night, or do you think we should move on and rest in the desert somewhere? They seem zealous, but not dangerous to me.
I think if we put up a tent, we should be fine because they inside the tents they take off their hoods and everything. So as long as we're not just outside sleeping, I think we should be okay.
I don't think they're aggressive.
All right. So the party sets up a tent just outside of the cult village, and begins to rest up for the night.
I think we should keep watches overnight just in case they decide to walk up to us with torches and pitchforks.
As you take watches, you do eventually, in the second watch of the night, whoever is taking that, you see the whole collective town of the cult begin circling the large bonfire, and they all begin kind of chanting low and in harmony, much like the march that they were doing across the desert. And you see this large bird creature emerge from the dome.
What the
And-
fuck is that thing?
I think it's their boss.
Didn't tell us they had a 16-foot tall boss.
And why do you think I hightailed it out of there? He's scary.
As you see it walk across, it has these black roving creatures all over its body, now highlighted by the light of the desert. They almost look like the feathers of a bird, but you can tell as they writhe around him there's something more. He walks into the center of the bonfire, and the creatures on his body begin to catch fire. And as he stands there and holds his like large wing-like arms out, the strange grubs begin to fall off of him and burn and cook in the fire. These bird creatures race into the fire and like grab them and begin putting them on sticks and spits, and you see perhaps a little horrific scene as all of these creatures begin having an enormous feast, just feasting off the flesh of these like writhing grubs that had covered and been eating the body and flesh of this large 15-foot bird creature. As he just kind of stands in the fire and lets his body become cleansed of the creatures, as the feast continues, eventually he steps out of the bonfire, scarred and blackened, but seemingly otherwise unharmed. And you see like sprouting from his flesh anew, like the shapes of these like small maggots. They begin once again covering his scarred flesh again. And he makes his way back into the center of the large nest at the very back, and the feast of the burned maggots continues for another hour until it ceases, and then all the robed creatures make their way back into their various nests, and the horrific scene in front of you ends.
So do they reveal their faces when they're having this feast?
No,
Okay.
They just shove it into their robes and eat. It's very clear that they're eating it, even though you don't see their faces. It's obvious as you watch it. And so the night passes, and you get a long rest. And I think at that point, we will go ahead and take our first break here, or we'll take our break here, about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we will come back and see where you guys go the next day. Catch you all in a few.